There's just so many things in this world that don't make sense, stories that don't make any sense. There's things called senseless crime, and this is just one of them that don't make any sense. I don't want to hear anything about mental illness because mental illness is no excuse for hurting children. Flat out, I want to make sure that my stance is very clear on that. This angel that you guys see on my screen literally lived out what could be considered like, I guess, a worse nightmare for a person being in a mall with their friends. A lot of us, when our kids get of a certain age, we will let them kind of walk around the mall and do their thing, especially when they're in a group, hoping that they'll be responsible. And then you have somebody like this who doesn't need to be in our society for a lot of reasons. But let me give you guys a disclaimer. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I'm getting this story from fox2detroit.com. So thank you for the article. I'll try my best to keep this brief. Troy, Michigan, big L, big L. Sophia Simpson, 10 years old, this little angel that you guys see on my screen, is still recovering after an adult woman, they're not going to say it, an adult black woman, randomly grabbed this girl and slammed her head into a cookie display at the Somerset Mall in Troy. Y'all know what those displays look like. You can see them from top to bottom. Imagine somebody grabbing your child and slamming her head into it. The incident took place last Friday as Sophia was waiting in line for a cookie from Miss Fields at the mall, according to police. She was there with a group of her friends and one of their dads. So there was a parent there. Boy, couldn't have been me. Couldn't have been me. I'd probably be facing some type of charges with the police based on what I might have done to this woman for doing that to kids that I had responsibility of watching. And that's why I just think that this woman was very fortunate she didn't run across the wrong set of parents, because anything that would have happened to her would have been justified. Anything. The attacker is allegedly 25-year-old Reanna, Reanna Valentine of Detroit. Police said that this incident seemed to be unprovoked and for no apparent reason. It was random. It was a random act of violence. Surveillance video shows that Simpson did nothing wrong to provoke Valentine. They reviewed the footage when the woman first walked into the mall all the way where the incident occurred, and they said that there was nothing Sophia's father, and there was nothing. Sophia's father, Nick Simpson. There's no explanation for why she did this. Nearly a week later, check this out. Sophia continues to experience headaches and bouts of dizziness due to the attack, and you could imagine. For a grown woman to hit a child, it just doesn't make any sense. Brittany Simpson, Sophia's mom, said, "I can't understand why she would do that." The parents were out of the country when the attack took place. Sophia was able to give the security a description of Valentine, who came back to the mall a day later. Let me say that again. She came back to the scene of the crime a day later. And that's when police arrested her. Valentine faces a misdemeanor charge for simple assault. I think she should get more than that. She was released on a personal bond, but a judge put her on a tether, a rarity for this charge. Valentine has been also banned from Somerset Mall. Now it can't happen to anybody else unless she walks into a mall, unless they physically prevent her from walking in a mall. Fox 2 reached out to Valentine multiple times for comment, but did not receive a response. Let me give you guys the fair usage, and I'll show you the news video. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Y'all do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. Tell me this. Would this little girl be right for being afraid of black women for something like this happening to her when she was a child? I'm just asking a question. Maybe some of y'all don't even feel that would even be a valid thought, but I would be afraid if a black woman did that to me as a child, just randomly, for absolutely no reason, unprovoked. That's a scary thing. And I'm sure the parents probably now have some prejudiced thoughts, and they would be justified. I think this woman deserves prison time. But check it out though. I'm just thinking it.
The car ride back, oh my gosh, it was terrible. I was so dizzy. I was actually really tired too.
10-year-old Sophia Simpson, still not herself ever since a fun trip to Somerset Mall last Friday with friends and one of their dads. It took a turn at the food court near Mrs. Field's Cookies.
So I checked my phone, and then just that woman came up and hit my head against the glass. I started crying, and then she turns around, she starts laughing at me, and then she puts on her mask and runs away.
Police would later identify the woman as 25-year-old.
Laughing at me, glass. I started crying, and then she turns around, she starts laughing at me, and I started crying, and then she turns around, she starts laughing at me, and I started crying, and then she turns around, she starts laughing at me.
She laughed. I don't want to hear about no goddamn stupid excuse. Mental illness. She hurt a baby, and I always tell you guys that mental illness going forward will not be an excuse, and nobody is going to get away from hurting our children, mental illness or not. Absolutely inexcusable.
And then she puts on her mask and runs away.
Police would later identify the woman as 25-year-old Rihanna Valentine.
Like, she took her hand on the back of my neck and slammed it into the glass.
Valentine now charged with a misdemeanor and on tether for the attack.
Like, why? I don't know why. I mean, I didn't do anything to her.
It's the million-dollar question.
For a grown woman to hit a child is just doesn't make sense to me. I can't understand why she would do that.
Even mall security and Troy police only have theories. One thing is for sure, surveillance video shows Sophia did nothing wrong.
They reviewed the footage from when the woman first walked in the mall all the way to where the incident occurred, and they said there was nothing. There's no explanation for why she did this.
Her parents, Nick and Brittany Simpson, were out of the country when this happened. Imagine that call.
Just shocked. I mean, I had to sit down and try to collect my nerves, and a little angry, and everything was just all at once.
Little Sophia, all 40 pounds of her, wiped away tears and was able to give security a description of Valentine, who came back to the mall a day later. That's when police moved in, making the arrest.
Now it can't happen to anybody else.
We talked to Troy police about this, Captain Josh Jones. He says the only theory that he can come up with is that maybe Brianna Valentine was trying to show off for the people that she was with, maybe a joke or something like that. But we're talking about a 25-year-old woman here. What is no joke is that she is now on tether for a misdemeanor charge.
That should be a felony charge, misdemeanor. Thank you, James. Misdemeanor. Really? Misdemeanor? I want y'all to imagine, let me ask y'all this. Imagine if a man, let's just say a black man, let's just say me, if I were to do that to a grown woman, not a child, did that to a grown woman and she just standing there and I walked by and pushed her and knocked her into a glass, do y'all think that they would charge me with a misdemeanor, or would that be a felony assault? You did this to a child that's a quarter of your size and a quarter of your age. misdemeanor my ass. That is incorrect. That should be a felony. That should be jail time.
I think collectively the reaction is, wait, what? Well, allegedly, a 10-year-old girl was attacked out of nowhere by a woman as she waited at the Mrs. Fields cookie location inside of Somerset Mall.
It's ridiculous, uncalled for, immoral.
You can tell by her tone she's a mom.
You can't turn off that mama bear, can you?
Never.
Denise was enjoying a Mrs. Fields cookie Wednesday when we told her what happened out here this week. A group of 10-year-olds making their cookie selection when...
And all of a sudden, one of the 10-year-olds got pushed face first into the kind of the display where the in front of the food is.
The suspect, a woman, actually allegedly grabbed the child's head and smashed it into the glass. Didn't break, but she hit very hard.
Was shaken up and kind of hurt and bruised, and kind of turned around right away and was like, what the heck was that? And started crying.
Then this part makes your blood boil.
That person kind of started laughing and like it was a big joke, and then kind of made their way through the mall.
24 hours later, police would learn the alleged attacker, 25-year-old Rihanna Valentine. The Guardian, with a group of little girls, told security who reviewed surveillance footage. A day after it happened, no shame, Valentine came back to Somerset to make a return when she was spotted by that same security and Troy police. Then a time came back to Somerset to make a return. When time came back to Somerset to make a return. Time came back to Somerset to make a return. Time came back to Somerset to make a return.
So she was broke. She went back to make a return. She broke. She's broke. And dumb. You came back to the mall where you committed a felonious act against a child, and then you came back the next day like it was all good because your broke ass couldn't afford to not go back to that mall to go return something that you bought and couldn't afford. I'm assuming it's something that she bought that she tried to go stunt on her friends, wore it, used it, whatever it is, and then tried to go return it and get her money back. Probably kept the tags on it and everything. Ain't that just like a broke chick?
When she was spotted by that same security and Troy police, then arrested.
I think the person just walked by and saw the kids standing there and thought it would be funny to kind of show off to the group they were with.
For that, a misdemeanor charge for simple assault released on personal bond. But the kicker, the judge put Valentine on a tether, a rarity for this charge and no glaring priors.
I've been here 27 years and we've never had incidents like that.
Longtime food court employee John says the mall is safe. People, though, there's something else.
I would thought since COVID, people would change and things would be, back to normal, but it seems that it has gotten worse.
We did reach out to Valentine multiple times to get her side of the story. Maybe she has a different take. We did not hear back in time for this story.
She should have a side. She should be in prison. Her side against a child? Are you sick, man? That's why I wanted to show y'all this story. Please share this. Make this go viral. Run these views up. Share this and let everybody know this level of ridiculous is going on. Because that woman needs prison time. And I feel sorry for this little girl and little baby girl and to the family. They're going to tell you this, so I might as well tell you the same thing. No, all black people aren't like this. But guess what? I would be totally understanding if you were afraid. If you just happen to be around a lot of them. I would totally understand. Because that's ridiculous, the fact that we can't see this and understand that people can be traumatized and that trauma is there to remind them to be cautious of their surroundings, of their situation. Don't tell somebody that ends up in a drive-by in the hood that they shouldn't be afraid to live in the hood. Like I said, this woman, I think that she needs prison time. I don't know how much time is suitable, but it don't sound like they're going to give her any. Her side of the story. There ain't no goddamn side of the story. Sorry, I just get mad, and that's what it is. Let me know what you guys think about this. Maybe I'll clean my language up. Keep that baby girl in your prayers. Let me know what you guys think about this, okay? Thank you.